Good afternoon. Welcome back to my Astro Imaging Journey channel. So lately I've been noticing I've been trying to process my images and I'm having a difficult time. I won't get into it, but you got 300 images and only 16 of them will auto stack. So I don't know what's going on. But one thing I have been wanting to do is add on the focal reducer, simply because the EdgeHD natively is f10, 2800 millimeter, and putting the focal reducer on will take it to a 1960 millimeter and f7, which is one stop of light, which means anything that took 1 minute to capture before now will take 30 seconds. So, and I want to show you something here. Let's go over to PixInsight. The other problem I have is this was the first image, it was plate solved and sequence generator, auto-centered, and as you can see, it's M81, the boat's galaxy, and it's pretty centered in the frame. Over time, with dithering, as you can see, it now gets out of frame. Now it's random. Not everything gets this bad. But with the focal reducer on there, I should be able to keep it more contained within the frame and minimize the amount of impact the dithering is having. So with that, what I need to do, I need to update Sequence Generator Pro and everything involved with that. So first thing we need to do is come over here, and I need my ratio. So let me look at the camera specs and my image scale. So two key things we need to know from this. I do have the T6i. First thing I need to know, what's my pixel size, and what's my resolution. So my pixel size is, where was that at? 3.72, and I'm 6,000 by 4,000. So we come over here, 3.72 microns. Focal length, we'll get that in a second. 6,000, 4,000. Now let's open up a calculator. So natively, the EdgeHD 11-inch is 2800 millimeters. Multiply that by 0.7. We get 1960. And we go calculate. So now my image scale goes to 3.91, or excuse me, 0.391. That is something we need to remember. I've already gone in to my equipment profile manager, and as you can see, I've got the standard config I had running, have my old scale in there, pixels, focal length of my OTA, and I have updated that to now reflect the new info. 0.3, it's actually 0.391, but it is what it is. So now I've If I take the focal reducer off, I've got that already saved, and this one already saved. Since I'll be using the focal reducer, I want to checkbox use this profile as default. So let's go ahead and save that. Now let's go back in. Now we need to find what target are we going to have tonight. I believe M101 may be up. No, well maybe. Nope, that's the Pinwheel Galaxy. What was the one I was imaging last night? M81 and 103. So let's do M103. So go back over here and then let's look at photographer's ephemeris. Look for today. Set. Anytime after 6 o'clock. Ideally after 8 or 6:30, but usually around the nautical end, I can get out there, polar align, you know, it's dark enough I can get all that taken care of. So 6:30, let's look at 6:30. Well, clearly M103. Let's get this over here too. Is going to be up in the sky, so let's go with M103. Let's do a new sequence. It's using the focal reducer. And now let's go over to Tools, Framing Wizard, M103. I've got my scale in there. The overlap is only if you're going to be doing a mosaic, 6,000 by 4,000. All right. Apologies, need to fetch first. Let's get this out of here. There's 103. Just a small drag and drop on the box. And let's get that centered. Now, if you notice, I've got it set to 80. You should not have to worry about the rotation. But these are just going to be test frames anyways. And I usually leave these as default because I'll go back in later anyways. Target 1 we can remove. And I want to replace this with this PC. SGP with focal reducer. It's got my name, it's got all that. We're just going to do test frames. Okay, we're going to want to do a run, light, no filter, exposure, 10 seconds, 1600, repeat once, add a new one. Let's go 20 seconds. Add a new one, 30. Let's go 45. And 60. All right. Now let's save that sequence. And just give it a name. So I know M103 is going to be up, and the other one we were looking at, M81. Okay, so that one is below my horizon. It will be appearing somewhere around 10:30. I'll have to remember that because 103 is still visible, but the moon is still out. What time does the moon actually set? Let's go back to our ephemeris. Moon rises there, but there's no moon set. So let's go to the next day. 3:42. So we're going to want to run M103. To about 1 o'clock in the morning. We can set that if these weren't just test frames using start and stop. So we know we could go 6:30, 2, 1. So there we go. Kickoff at 6:30, ends at 1 a.m. Don't worry about the rotate the camera. And then I could easily go here. Count 81. Fetch. Again, small box to get a bigger one. Everything else is good. Create sequence, M81. And if I had anything there, I could just simply go in here. What time did I say it was coming back? Wasn't sure. Let's go back here. So somewhere around 10:30. Now chances are it's still going to be up in the morning when the sun comes out. Yes, 7:30 the sun's out. So what time? This is tomorrow. So let's go until 6 a.m. And there we go. Now between 10:30 and 1 a.m., as long as there's more images to be taken. First, let me say this. So let's say I want to run this for 60 seconds, ISO, and let's say 240. Now if I had done 240 here, the M103 will get through the first 4 pretty quick, and that would start snapping 60-second exposures. Again, this is just for demonstration purposes. Once 1 o'clock in the morning hits, where we defined right here, it's going to stop. It's going to take its last frame, and then it's going to move to 81. Now here we said it can start at 10:30, right? But if the preceding one is still imaging, M81 will not start imaging until it's done with this one. Now let's say if we were back to 1. Okay. Now this kicks off. What time does it kick off? 6:30. We're looking at 63 minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes with slewing, centering, all of that good stuff, all of that good work that it's doing for us. So it's going to be done by 7 o'clock. So from 7 o'clock, as it's configured right now, from 7 o'clock until 10:30, it's going to be dead in the water. So we would want to find another target. But again, 103 is just test frames to get us where we want to be. And now, that's it. Until 6:30 tonight, I'll try to get this thing working. Do these test frames and determine which exposure gets me some decent data and see how those turn out. So I will be back. Thank you.
Okay, well, we've started the sequence. PhD has calibrated, is now guiding. So now we should be getting over to our first target. Let's see how this goes. Well, so far so good. It slewed, auto-centered, framed it, and PhD did another recalibration because that's the way I've got SGP set up. So Now we're taking our first image with the focal reducer, and there it is. Yep, I like it. So now let's just let it run, and I'll check in at the end of the session. All right. Well, I got in a decent night's sleep. Well, not so decent, thinking something was going to go wrong. And it looks like it did. Couldn't rotate the camera. Clearly, one of the targets is still set to rotate the camera before it'll start taking images. It's just a simple checkbox I appear to have missed. Anyways, looks like it did capture some data off of the initial target, so we're going to be okay. At least we have something to just take a gander and make sure everything was working. So I would say, as far as using the focal reducer, we're good. Now I just need to dial in these settings and my sequence process a little bit tighter, and we'll be good to go. Thanks for watching, and clear skies.